I don't know how many times I'm going to say that, but y'all got to listen, okay? Hi guys, welcome back to another quick discussion. I haven't really come up with a title for my podcast or my show yet, so if you guys have any suggestions, leave it in the comments or send me a message if you know me, because that's probably most of my audience. But yeah, I'm your host, Maddie Nakamura, and today I want to break down the female menstrual cycle and how athletes can utilize its phases to optimize performance. I feel that this information is not as out there as it should be. The idea that women are little men and should have the exact same training plan as male athletes still overcrowds the athletic and fitness world. Thankfully, some coaches and phenomenal athletes like Diljit Taylor and Mary Kane have used their platforms to spread awareness on this stigma and educate the public about the importance of knowing the female body. By becoming more knowledgeable on the menstrual cycle and female hormones, we can get a better idea of how to utilize them to our advantage on the track, field, or in the gym. I find this topic even more near and dear to my heart, not just because I'm a young girl with athletic aspirations, but also because of my own health journey and experiences in women's health. So, I hope you enjoy this podcast and let's dive in. Really quick, I want to make it known that I am no doctor, but have used numerous sources from medical professionals and scientists to back what I say, so I'll put all those references in the description below. With that said, let's start by going through each phase of the menstrual cycle. Week 1 is all of our favorite, right gals? Probably not. This is when the uterine lining gets shed and we experience bleeding and cramps and efforts to do so. Here, estrogen and progesterone are at their lowest, and these two hormones are responsible for supporting ovulation, explaining why they're so low. Because of the blood loss, we are also losing iron and fluid. So with this in mind, the greatest thing to do is listen to your body. Light exercise is typically very good at alleviating pain and can help suppress cramping. Many athletes, especially runners, think that bleed week is their weakest time of the month, but that is far from the truth. Much research has shown that athletic performance does not change during week 1 of the menstrual cycle. As long as symptoms are not debilitating and athletes fuel correctly, they should be able to compete at the same level. Eating dark meats and leafy greens to restore iron loss is crucial during this phase. Personally, I also drink beet juice, which is healthy for red blood cells and can increase oxygen levels prior to a race. So yeah, I do that because, being a distance runner, I'm like, oh my gosh, I should probably do everything so I can breathe during those 3 miles. But yeah, overall, women and young girls should not feel any limitations when on their period and can train during it. Most importantly, of course, listen to your body and do not push through pain that can cause further damage. I don't think people often realize that menstrual cramping is simply muscle cramps, so treat them in the same way you would treat a cramping hamstring. Are these cramps going to get worse and carry into additional workout sessions if I continue to train, or will they ease up with movement? These are all things to consider. As for weightlifting, athletes should stick to a lower weight and increase the rep count. Technique should also be focused on, as muscles can be more susceptible to injury due to the fluid loss and lower concentration of sex hormones that support the body. Be sure to also increase rest and sleep to keep the body healthy during this week as well. Okay, so from menstruation up until ovulation, which for a 28-day cycle is days 1 to 13 or 14, the body is in its follicular phase. Even after day 3 of our cycle, estrogen and progesterone already start to increase. Because of this rise in hormones, energy levels also rise as well. Maybe not right away, so take the first few days after your period easy, but you will continue to get more energy and be able to increase the intensity throughout this phase. Think about increasing weight and lowering reps to build muscle. However, with cardio, longer miles at a steady state may be more beneficial due to the previous week of blood loss and muscle cramping. Doing high-intensity repeats for a runner could not be so beneficial during this time, but, being an athlete who competes, I get it. Just fuel and rest accordingly. Nevertheless, also, like I'm going to say a ton of times throughout this discussion, listen to your body. I suggest doubling up on protein as you increase the intensity of workouts and rebuild from week 1. Also, up your fiber intake to flush out any excess estrogen and balance hormones which can cause inflammation. Estrogen dominance is especially common today due to the many synthetic estrogens in beauty products, processed foods, and even clothing. So higher fiber allows for the body to flush out estrogen that is in the gut. I will go into hormone imbalances and how to fix it with nutrition in another podcast for another day because that will take us way off topic. But for this phase, overall, just lower rep, high weight, base miles, and high protein and fiber. This brings us to ovulation, which is only 16 to 32 hours. Estrogen and testosterone are at their highest leading to this point, so building muscle is easiest here, as long as recovery and nutrition are already well managed, of course. So enjoy this time of the month because our energy levels are high and we can easily take on the higher intensities. Now for the second half of the menstrual cycle, the luteal phase. After the egg has not ovulated and the brain knows that we're not having a baby, unless we are, the hormones start to take a nosedive. All athletes should take more time to incorporate longer recovery sessions to keep healthy and continue training without regressing. In this phase, our bodies retain more water, making it harder to cool off during exercise. So be sure to remember that before you do some Bikram yoga or go on a run in the summer. Also, remember this is the PMS phase, which usually means we are feeling hungrier and less energetic. Insulin levels are less sensitive and caloric intake should be higher. So good news, ladies, you can up your carbs, okay? But also continue to eat the protein and prepare for your period that will deplete you of iron in the next coming weeks. Healthy fats should always be incorporated as well. Towards the end of the cycle, light impact cardio and low intensity weightlifting is better for the body, and keep in mind that low hormone levels can result in lower energy, thus making us more injury prone. However, sometimes our training blocks and races do not comply with our cycles, and that's okay. Just fuel, rest, and listen to your body accordingly. We can do hard things. Alright, we have broken down every phase of the menstrual cycle, and here are some key rules to remember. A consistent period indicates healthy fueling, and the body is not in survival mode. When we lose our period, it is because the body does not deem it the right time to have a child. As a result, our hormone levels get thrown off, we hold on to fat, and become more susceptible to deficiencies. So as an athlete, be very careful and know that your period is almost a vital sign, basically, that tells you if you're fueling right, you're resting enough, and you're doing what you need to keep your body healthy. Next point. Protein, healthy fats, and good fiber and carb sources will keep your hormones regulated, allowing you to recover from hard training sessions. Always take in carbs and sugar as soon as possible after a workout. There's a 30-minute window after we exercise or do a workout, and this is when our glucose levels want to take in the most fuel as possible. So putting sugar in right away can give you the most benefit out of that. Follow this with a very good meal. A good goal to have is about 3 meals a day and a snack in between each. Food is fuel to increase intensity and longevity. So remember that, okay? We train for performance, not for aesthetics. Most importantly, listen to your body. I don't know how many times I'm going to say that, but y'all got to listen, okay? Soreness and tiredness is okay, but if the pain is debilitating and it gets worse with exercise, take note of this and rest. Just listen, okay? Listen, Linda. There is so much more to discuss on this topic that I'll probably have to make a second podcast where we go into supplements and mental health. But today we went over some crucial topics that can be very beneficial to any female athlete. I hope you enjoyed this talk and can use this information to benefit yourself or the women in your life. Until next time, see ya!